Hello my friends, and welcome to the last day of Book-O-Ween, and happy Halloween. Today is Halloween and today is the last day of Book-O-Ween. It is a happy and sad occasion for me because I am exhausted but also sad to see it end once again, but I had a lot of fun. So today's book review is about The October Boys by Adam Millard. Okay, well, we're just gonna get straight into the review because I have a lot to say about this book. So let's talk about the cover. I think this cover is stunning. I love the colors. I love the ice cream truck on the front. I like the colors. I think it's really eye-catching. It's really pretty. It's soft, matte touch. It caught my eye immediately when I first saw it. I just really like this cover, and I really like the title as well. The October Boys just sounds really intriguing and interesting, and I don't know, it just really caught my eye, and I really like the cover. So let's get into a plot synopsis, and then I will tell you guys my thoughts. The year is 1988, and it is Halloween night, and a group of 12-year-olds are trick-or-treating. The night is a little boring, and they decide to call it quits and just cut their losses when they hear a sound in the distance. The sound is the distinct chime of an ice cream truck. However, it sounds off, slightly off-key. It doesn't sound right. The boys are confused because why would an ice cream truck be running in October when the season for ice cream trucks is over? Then, when they finally encounter the actual ice cream truck, it starts chasing the boys. They end up getting separated. 3 boys go one way, 1 boy on his own. The last thing the 3 boys see is a shadow driving the ice cream truck chasing their friend. 28 years later, that night still haunts all 3 friends. Then, the ice cream man pays a visit to each of them, telling him that he is coming back and he will get them this time. They won't get away. Thus begins a fight between the ice cream man and the men. Will the men be able to put a stop to the ice cream man before it's too late? Okay, so let's get into my thoughts. I really wanted to like this book. I thought the plot was very interesting. A group of friends, one of them disappears. The person behind his disappearance is a mysterious, shadowy ice cream man. It's, it just sounds interesting. It sounds like something I would gravitate towards. It just sounds like something that would appeal to me overall. And I really thought I was going to love this book. However, I honestly feel like it's too similar to It by Stephen King. And I'm not just saying like little similarities. I think it's like a little too similar to It by Stephen King, at least for me, in my personal opinion. They just have a lot of the same qualities. You have a group of friends as kids who are being chased by this evil thing, and then you have them as adults having to fight off the monstrous evil thing. Again, it's very similar to It, and I don't know, it wouldn't have bothered me, but there were more things than that made it a little too similar for my liking. I mean, I feel like even the evil thing itself is it's a very similar idea. You have It, which is Pennywise the clown, and then you have the October Boys, which is this ice cream man. They're both things that shouldn't be inherently evil for children. They're like benign things, ice cream men give ice cream to children. Clowns are supposed to make kids laugh. I mean, that's debatable because I know a lot of people are scared of clowns. I'm also scared of clowns, so I think that one's a little, iffy. But 2 things that are supposed to be benign and not scary, you know what I mean? And that's another similarity. I think I don't know, I liked the idea of the ice cream man. I thought that was very interesting because I could see how an ice cream man could be evil. have that job as an evil person and like want to, you know, hurt children. I don't know. I think that's a fascinating take on an ice cream man. I think it's cool. I do like that. It's just, it's almost too similar to It. They even refer to the ice cream man as It at one point or a few points in the book, which I get it. I understand that using the word it is just for something that you don't know what it is, and I get that and I understand that, but when you have a plot that's very similar and like it's just a little weird. It's just a little weird for me. It felt, I don't know, it felt weird. It just felt odd. I didn't personally care for it. I'm sure there are people out there who don't mind the similarities. And honestly, I wouldn't have minded a book that is similar to It that is shorter, because this book is only like 240 some pages or something like that. And It is extremely long. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves with It, is that it's so long, and it's too long for me. So I would have actually liked something similar to It, but shorter. But this wasn't as good as It. The October Boys didn't feel as well done. That sounds really mean, and I'm not trying to be mean. I don't want to be mean about this. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts, and I'm telling you guys how I feel. And me personally, I would rather read It again and again, all the pages, than read this book again. Ooh, that sounds really mean. The majority of this book is extremely boring in my opinion. I was waiting for something to happen a lot of the time. It just took too long to build up to the climax. It felt very one note the entire time, and I was falling asleep while reading it because I was just bored. Nothing was happening. I wasn't connected to it in the slightest. I didn't feel myself invested or really caring what happened. It was more I was reading to finish the book so it would be over, which isn't my favorite feeling in the world. Okay, the characters. So the three men who are basically the three main characters, Tom is really the most main character, I guess, but I didn't like them. I felt like they were very aggressive and off-putting, and reading from their perspective was just weird. It's very hard to explain. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but they just felt very aggressive. It felt like the male characters were putting on this tough guy persona and were just trying to be like really macho and masculine, and it came off as very abrasive and not nice or likable in my opinion. I didn't connect to any of the three guys, didn't really care if they lived or died, which sucks because usually I want to connect to at least one character so I can root for them to the end, but I just felt like I didn't care about any of the male characters. They were very abrasive in their tones and the way they spoke, not only to each other but to like other people around them. Maybe this is just the author's way of dialogue, I'm not sure, but for me it just came off very aggressive and abrasive and just not likable. I don't really know how else to explain it. I hope I'm explaining it well. It's very weird. I don't know. But I just didn't like any of the male characters in the slightest. The female characters, there wasn't too many of them, but I also didn't like them. They were, I don't know. I've never seen a woman portrayed like this before. It was very odd. It was like they were very shrill and that nagging or naggy type of woman stereotype where the woman's always nagging the husband, and just like, it was, again, it's just very off-putting. The women were very shrill and just like got on my nerves. I just sat there questioning if it was me thinking too much into the characters or if they really were like that, because I couldn't tell if I was interpreting it wrong or if it just came across that way with the characters. I don't know, but the women were really obnoxious, and they just had that, I don't know, it's like the men didn't like them, like they were just there and the men could talk about them however they wanted. I don't know. It wasn't in a sexual way is what I'm trying to say. It's not like they were just there for like a womanly body or anything like that. It was more just like the man could talk or think about the woman however he wanted when you were reading from his perspective. I don't know. It was very strange. I just didn't like how the women or the men were portrayed in this story. It's very weird. I don't know if I've ever encountered something like this before. I guess a good way to put it is the women were more of a hindrance to the men in the story than anything else. It just felt like anytime the women characters were talking or speaking to them or doing something, the men were just internally rolling their eyes and being annoyed and didn't like them, even though some of the women were their partners. And I don't know, it's very hard to explain. The women were just very annoying, but so were the men, and they didn't compliment each other, or I don't know. It's very, very strange. It's hard to put into words. I just didn't like either characters. I just thought they were both weird and not something I would personally want to read. Okay, this is also going to be hard to describe because I don't know how to put this into words. It's more of a feeling I felt while reading instead of anything else. So this may sound weird, but I didn't like the writing style at all. I felt like the writing was very angry. Like every sentence just had this undertone of sarcasm and a hint of angst and anger, and they were just mad while writing. Like even certain sentences that were just supposed to be descriptions just came off very like, this is stupid. I don't know why this is the way it is. And it's like, it's just a description. I don't know if that's just how the author writes and I'm just not used to that. Maybe that's their own style, and I've never read anything by Adam Millard before, so maybe that's just their style and I'm not used to it and I've never read anything like it, but it just came off very angsty and mad. I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, it's very weird. It's a feeling that I felt while reading, not really a like fact. I can't say that it was fact that the writing is angry. It's more how I felt that the writing was coming off mad and angry and like sarcastic almost. Everything was just like an undertone of sarcasm. Maybe that's just me. I would love to know if someone else felt that way, or if it's just in my head, because maybe it's just a me thing and I'm completely wrong and other people don't feel that way, but it was weird. The ending was so abrupt. It was so weird, and it just kind of ended. The book just stopped. I felt like the ending was kind of an afterthought. Maybe the author didn't know how to end it, and they just kind of threw this into the mix to end it appropriately on time or something like that. I'm not sure. The ending was just very strange for me. It wasn't something that I saw coming, but I didn't necessarily like it. It wasn't a bad ending. It was just so short and anticlimactic, and I don't know. It just wasn't what I was expecting, but not in a good way. I honestly wish I liked this book more. I didn't hate the book. I'm not saying I hate it. There are things that I did enjoy. I liked the aspect of the ice cream man. I liked the backstory of the ice cream man. That was pretty interesting and pretty different. But overall, everything together just didn't work for me. All of it together just, it wasn't something that I liked or would want to read again. Honestly, I don't know if I ever would read this book again. Maybe, but it's not something I would definitely reach for on my shelf and be like, yes, I need to read that book again because it was so good. It was just kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't the worst book I've ever read. I've definitely read worse books than this, but it didn't do anything for me. It was just kind of I was glad for it to be over. I wasn't sad to see it end. I was more like, oh, thank God. Bye, the end, see you, close book, put it away, that kind of thing. So for that reason, I am going to give this book 3 ghosts out of 5. I thought anything lower than 3 was just kind of mean, and I don't want to be mean. I'm just trying to critique the book to how I felt while I read it. I'm sure there are people who love this book. I've seen the reviews on Goodreads, and they're very mixed. Either people really like it or they really don't like it, and I'm going to fall into the category of really don't like it. I didn't hate it. It's not the worst book in the world. I don't detest it. I'm not gonna burn it or anything like that. It's just, not that I would burn a book. That's kind of weird, but you know what I mean. It's probably going to sit on my shelf until I find a time to sell it or donate it or something like that, just because I probably won't read it again, so I probably won't keep it. I do think it's aesthetically pleasing from the outside, and that does make me kind of want to keep it for that purpose only, because it's really attractive on the cover. I just think it's really pretty, but I don't know if that's kind of stupid to keep the book just for that. So I'm really sad that this was the book I finished Book-O-Ween on. I'm disappointed because it is my least favorite book out of the 7 we read. I'm really sorry, guys. I don't like doing negative reviews. I really don't. It makes me sad because I don't like being mean to people's work, but these are all just my opinions. I'm sure other people feel very differently about this book, so just keep that in mind. This is only just my opinion. If it sounds like something you would like, definitely read it for yourself and give it a try. I'm more than willing to read more of Adam Millard's work. I would like to give it a go again. Just because I didn't like this one doesn't mean I won't like any of their other stuff. That's gonna do it for The October Boys by Adam Millard. I'm sorry for this slightly negative review. I'm sorry this is how Book-O-Ween has to end, but I have to be truthful with you guys, and that's how I felt reading the book. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or what, but I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Please let me know if you felt differently. I would be so happy to hear people love this book because I personally wanted to love it so much. So if you do love this book, please let me know down in the comments below and tell me why, so I can maybe see it in a different light and maybe I'll like it more. So that's going to do it for Book-O-Ween. Book-O-Ween is over. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It really means a lot to me, and it helps me know what kind of content you guys like seeing from me. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you like book reviews, makeup, movies, horror, anything like that. We can become friends and just chit chat every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween, and I will see you guys later. Bye!